Hello to those who are listening to this introductory presentation. My name is Chiara, and I am a policy analyst for the OECD IEA Climate Change Expert Group. This presentation will introduce some of the key concepts that will be explored during the CCXG workshop on GHG inventory reporting. This presentation will provide a broad overview of the inventory process and of the reporting requirements currently in place to produce a national GHG inventory. The presentation is based on the recent CCXG paper titled Towards Common GHG Inventory Reporting Tables for Biennial Transparency Reports, Experience with Tools for Generating and Using Reporting Tables under UNFCCC, published in 2021 and authored by myself and Sina Wortman. During this presentation, I will start by providing an overview of the inventory process. We will see in detail how an inventory is prepared and how it is reported. We will focus specifically on how inventories are being reported under the UNFCCC and what will be the main new reporting requirements introduced by the Paris Agreement. Starting from the basics, a national GHG inventory is an accounting of greenhouse gases emitted by a country over a given time frame. Within inventories, GHG emissions are usually listed by sector and category. The IPCC offers detailed guidelines for the preparation of national GHG inventories. Guidelines have evolved over the years. Some frameworks may require the use of specific methodologies. For example, under the UNFCCC, all Annex 1 parties are required to use the 2006 IPCC guidelines. GHG inventories are a very useful source for a variety of reasons. At the national level, policymakers use inventories to establish a baseline for tracking emission trends, developing mitigation strategies and policies, and assessing progress. Internationally, inventories are used to monitor progress towards reduction targets and also to enable countries to access climate finance mechanisms. The process of preparing and reporting a national GHG inventory can be a rather complex one, and it may take up to a year for a country to produce an inventory. The inventory process usually requires the involvement of different ministries and agencies, and most countries have a dedicated unit that deals with it. This diagram provides a broad overview of the whole process. We will now see each step individually, but broadly speaking, two distinct phases can be identified. First, the inventory preparation phase, which culminates with the production of GHG estimates, and secondly, the estimated emissions are prepared for reporting. To prepare an inventory, activity data needs to be collected. It is usually collected from ministries, academia, industries, and other organizations. Data is often collected in different formats and structures, and also in different file types. In order to process the information gathered and perform the necessary calculations to estimate emissions, the data needs to be standardized into a common file type. Once the data is standardized, it can be used to estimate emissions. The most common method used to estimate emissions from a specific category requires multiplying the activity data collected by an emission factor. There are three different levels or tiers of complexity and detail that can be applied in prepare emission estimates, and the choice of an emission factor will strongly depend on the tier used to estimate. Methodologies or tiers are classified according to the accuracy of available data. With tier 1, countries may use IPCC default emission factors. With tier 3, plant level input data may be needed. Once the emissions are estimated, they can be organized into specific reporting formats, which depends on the framework under which countries are reporting. Under the UNFCCC, Annex 1 and non-Annex 1 parties report using different reporting guidelines and using different reporting formats. Non-Annex 1 parties follow less stringent reporting guidelines and are not required to use a common reporting format. Annex 1 parties, on the other hand, report using common reporting format tables or CRF tables, which are generated by a software called the CRF reporter. Current CRFs are structured around 5 sectors, and they comprise a total of 48 tables that are spread across 71 Excel sheets. They can be broadly classified into 4 different categories. Firstly, the sectoral background data tables, which present background data and parameters that are necessary for calculating GHG emissions of different categories. Secondly, the sectoral summary tables, which provide an overview of GHG from all sectors. Thirdly, summary report tables, which provide an economy-wide overview of emissions organized by category and gas. And finally, cross-cutting tables, which provide complementary information on, for example, the use of notation keys or recalculations of emissions. At this point, it is important to have clear in mind the different tools that can be used throughout the GHG inventory process. To prepare the inventory and, for example, to estimate emissions, commonly used tools can be used. These include, for example, Microsoft Excel, Microsoft Access, MySQL, R, and the IPCC software. The CRF reporter specifically is only used for the second phase of the inventory process, and specifically for Annex 1 parties reporting under the UNFCCC. From current experience, we understand that Annex 1 parties have set up IT systems that allow for the data produced by these softwares here on the left to directly feed into the CRF reporter, facilitating reporting. The reporting process discussed so far relates specifically to the current reporting arrangements under the UNFCCC, where, as we have mentioned, Annex 1 and non-Annex 1 parties report using different reporting formats. However, starting from 2024, all parties to the Paris Agreement will report using a unique set of reporting guidelines, the MPG, and using a common set of reporting tables, or CRTs. Understanding current Annex 1 parties' reporting experience in preparing and reporting GHG inventories under the UNFCCC is important because the CRTs will build upon the existing CRF tables currently used by Annex 1 parties. In other words, the CRTs will likely have a structure that is similar to the ones of the CRF tables and will be generated by a software that is similar to the CRF reporter. Understanding the main reporting challenges for non-Annex 1 parties who have limited experience with the CRF tables and the CRF reporter is equally important because the CRTs will need to be designed in such a way as to accommodate very diverse levels of reporting capacity. Yet, the CRTs will significantly improve the availability and transparency of information reported by parties, enhancing the understanding of the global response to climate change. To conclude, there are three key messages that I would like to highlight. Firstly, the CRF tables and the CRF reporter will likely serve as a basis for the development of CRT. Secondly, however, the CRF system is an uneven starting point, as developing countries do not have any practical experience with it. Thirdly, IT arrangements can play an important role in facilitating developing countries' transition to the CRT system, and many tools and software programs can alleviate the reporting burden faced by developing countries in preparing their inventory. And that was it. Thank you for listening, and I hope you enjoyed the discussions during the workshop.